Should you be selling seasonal or evergreen products? This is a question that I get asked every single day. And I want to reframe it because seasonal and evergreen aren't actually the thing that matters. Instead, this thing called shelf life is actually what matters. And that is exactly what I'm going to break down in this video so you know exactly what you need to be focusing on so that you can see consistent sales in your print-on-demand business. If you are new here, hello, my name is Taylor. I have sold over $1 million in print-on-demand products in the last 3 years. I've quit my full-time job to sell print-on-demand products. And what I'm sharing in this video is the number one thing that actually made selling print-on-demand products feel like a sustainable, consistent income stream for me. Okay, so let's first talk about what seasonal is, what evergreen is, and kind of shift what people think it is and what the reality actually is. Boom, there we go. Okay, so if we want to understand exactly what these two categories of product types are, we first need to understand exactly how these types of products sell throughout the year. Okay, am I missing a month? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Beautiful. We have all the months. What people typically see seasonal niches to be is just a spike at a specific time of year related to the season of the product. Something with a spike like this might be Valentine's Day. And this is a pretty accurate representation of what seasonal niches look like. What most people see evergreen niches to be are niches that look like this. Most people see evergreen niches to be niches that are going to sell consistently all year round. And that's really the big appeal with them and why most people want to target evergreen niches because they view them as this great opportunity for consistent sales. But this is not the most accurate representation of what evergreen niches actually look like. Instead, evergreen niches often look something like this, where they have sales all year round, but they have busier times of the year. And this is what I refer to as the shelf life of a niche. For something like our seasonal niche here, this has a very short shelf life. It's really only going to be selling between when the spike starts and when the spike ends. For something like an evergreen niche, the shelf life is longer, but it has these little gaps where it isn't as busy, and then busier seasons. Seasonal niches, or really we could even say seasonal product types, while they do have that shorter shelf life, they often have what I like to call a higher boom. They reach a much higher potential a lot of the time in that very short condensed season where you kind of make all of the money that you're gonna make with it really, really quickly. And so of course that's a big appeal because if you want to have what feels like that very big virality with your product, seasonal niches are going to feed into that dopamine hit that you get, or they can at least. With our evergreen niches or more evergreen products, they have the longer shelf life, but they also have a little bit less of a boom. They're still consistent, they still sell for longer periods of time, but you're not going to see as high of a spike as you would with something that's seasonal, except maybe around like the holiday time, December timeframe, November, December. Naturally, all sales go up, but that's actually often the biggest boom for evergreen niches. Evergreen niches make really great gifts. When you think about what you buy for a friend or a family member, you're awfully not buying seasonally themed items for a specific family member, unless they're very passionate about it. Like for example, there's a lot of people that are very into Halloween and they might appreciate a Halloween themed gift, but oftentimes we buy seasonal things for ourselves and then we buy evergreen, more giftable products for our loved ones. Let me show you how to actually see this for yourself. So if I jump onto Etsy, and specifically I'm going to be using Everbee, it's a Chrome extension, and I use it for a lot of my product research and really understanding these hits and valleys and shelf life of the niches that I'm potentially targeting, whether they're seasonal or evergreen. If I go into the search bar, and we'll start by looking up something that would be considered to be more seasonal. So I mentioned Halloween earlier. If we look up Halloween shirts, then I jump over to the product analytics. I am going to sort by listing age. And after I've sorted by listing age, I'm going to take a peek into the highest selling listings. So as I'm skimming through here, I'm just looking at the listings that are the oldest and have a high volume of sales. So for example, if I click this listing right here, it's been on Etsy for 33 months, has over 15,000 sales. And then I'm going to go to this trend graph. I'm going to sort it by all time. And now I can start to see what this graph looks looks like compared to kind of the graph that I drew out for us. So for this particular product, it had a spike in October of 2023, it had a spike in September of 2024, and then it had another spike in September of 2025. And this is what we typically see with our seasonal niches. They have a little bit of a come up, a very strong spike, and then they come down, and they might get a couple little sales. I also sell Halloween things, and I've had things sell for Halloween that sell randomly in January. It happens, but it's just not very consistent. If we go back to the search bar and now we look up something that is more evergreen, something that naturally we think can sell all year round, maybe we look up something like teacher shirts. People are buying teacher shirts all of the time for different occasions. And back to product analytics, same thing, sort by listing age. And maybe we'll take a look at this listing right here. It has 455 total sales, 27 months. Let's go to all time. We can see something like this. It has little baby humps in July and August. This has a much longer period. It doesn't have those sharp spikes like we saw with the more seasonal niche, but it still does have those lower times or kind of like those lulls throughout the year. Just to look at another listing, this listing's only 14 months old, but it does have over 1,000 sales. And looking at when those sales have occurred, it looks like it kind of starts around here. I would say around June is the start of this listing's shelf life. From June till about January, that is really where it is seeing the bulk of its sales. It has a little bit of a spike here, but relatively consistent all throughout this time period. As I mentioned, I use Everbee for this. It is my favorite research tool for getting this real-time data directly from what's working on Etsy. I do have a link for Everbee that I'll put in the description box below. It's a discount link. It is an affiliate link. I do get a small little bump back if you do use it, but also you get a discount by using my link. So if you haven't tried Everbee and you want to use it for this research for yourself, there's a link in the description box below. Now, the reason I wanted to share this and the reason that it is important is because you want to consider niches, shelf lives, niches, shelf lives. That is hard to say. You want to consider that before you actually start creating. I see a lot of sellers going in thinking that they're targeting a seasonal product that should be selling all year round, but they're not aware of its shelf life and they're actually creating for it outside of that shelf life and then not seeing sales, not seeing views, and wondering what they're doing wrong, why their listings aren't getting any traction. And a lot of the time that is the case. There's other things that can go into it, of course, but that can be a common reason. And so you want to validate your niche's shelf life before you start creating for it. Looking at this search trend, looking at the sales trend graph that I showed in Everbee, so you have an understanding of what type of time frame and time period people are actually buying the niche that you might be creating for. And what you really want to make sure that you're focused on is not, am I going to sell evergreen products? Am I going to sell seasonal products? But instead, let's get rid of all of this. Get rid of that. What you really want to focus on is not necessarily whether you have seasonal or evergreen, but make sure that you have listings in your shop that cater to every single month of the year. And that's going to look different for absolutely everybody. So for example, when I first started, I was focusing on a lot of seasonal niches. And if you look back at previous videos of mine, I had a lot of growth that way. So for example, January of 2023, that was my first $1,000 profit month. I sold like $4,000 in revenue or something around there. I'll put a little screenshot of what that month actually looked like for me. But the reason that I had that spike is because I was targeting a seasonal niche. Same thing in February, my shop grew again and I had another seasonal niche. Same thing in March. It was around this time frame in my first year of selling print-on-demand products that I was like, damn, this is exhausting, because I was having to create a bunch of listings and I kind of felt like a hamster on a wheel, having to make sure that I had these spikes for every single month. And if I didn't, I knew that I was going to flatline. I was going to have no sales in that month. And so instead, I started focusing on having a bit of a mix, still having those spikes throughout my shop, focusing on having a spike for April, but also figuring out what I could do so that if I ever needed to take my foot off of the gas pedal, I then also had something that was like this for me in the background. And then it was less volatile with my income every single month. I wasn't actually having to work as hard trying to chase all of these different spikes that I originally was doing. That was completely burning me out. And so I think the question becomes not, should I focus on evergreen or should I focus on seasonal? But instead, what does your year look like in your shop based off of the listings that you have? If you're not seeing sales right now, it might be because you actually have a lull that you're not actually aware of. You're not aware of the shelf life of the listings in your shop, whether you think they're evergreen or not. Your goal should be to have a diverse shop, which at least this is the strategy on Etsy. This is what has worked for me on Etsy for getting really consistent income. But you want to make sure that you have steady shelf life throughout every single month of the year in your shop. And this is also a long game. I want to be very clear on that. When I first started, I had a lot of things. And when you look back at my videos where I share my growth month over month and how my shop was growing, it was growing month over month. But what those videos don't show you is I was targeting tons of seasonal niches throughout those time frames. I know this is getting sloppy, but I was targeting tons of different seasonal niches and a lot of them flopped. I had tons of niches that flopped for me. And the only reason I got to where I am today is because I did so much experimentation and so much testing. And it set me up in a way that when I was finishing out my first full calendar year selling print-on-demand products, I knew that, okay, I have these niches that worked really well for me in this previous year. I had a couple duds here, but I started doing a little bit more evergreen here. And so I saw some spikes that looked like this. And now I know what to focus on again. Definitely want to do this again because it worked for me, but I don't want to do any of that again. And so you start to build, this is where it's a marathon, not a sprint. You really start to build your own calendar of things that work for you throughout the year. Most of the things that you test in your first year will not work. That is normal. Some will, and then you're going to build off of those some, and that is what is going to allow you to grow and let things compound over time. But the only way that you're going to get there is actually by testing. When you do this for your shop, you will have actual data that you can work off of. I encourage you to take a look at your shop, no matter how old it is, look at the listings that you have and really identify what specific niches have been selling for you in January, February, March, so on and so forth, and write it all out. Create your own calendar and write in the things that you're testing. Cross them off if they don't work for you. Add the things that do work for you, or give them a little check mark, and keep something like this in your workflow. If you have any questions about this, please let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully this has made you feel more clear about what you want to target and how you're going to create your income goals selling print-on-demand products. If you need another step, I actually have a video where I walk through a 30-day game plan, especially if you're just getting started and wanting to get to your first 100 sales. That's the video that I want you to watch next.